And we are live. Good evening, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gem of Crypto, episode 412. Today is Friday, June 14th, and I'm King. And Bitcoin Day today is out. You know, we've been tag teaming all summer. So you have me here today, but we have a lot of great stories coming up and not so good ones. Of course, top story of the day, Binance to stop serving US traders. Bitcoin sees its worth over $8,400 for the first time in almost a couple years, or a year and a half, excuse me. Let's see what else we have. Grayscale, Bitcoin gained 47% in USChina Trade War drawdown. Facebook crypto project seals $10 million investments each from Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and Uber. Rhode Island solicits proposals for blockchain solutions in government. And the U.S. state of Nevada passes flurry of blockchain bills. And of course, today we are not doing the cryptic coin. I'm not sure who Bitcoin Day had as a winner for the last couple of days, so I'll wait until we are back together to do that. What's going on, Tony Nolly, Tommy Brown, Allison Thompson, Shannon Allen? Hilarious. For sure. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's see. As I said, the top story of the day, Binance to stop serving U.S. traders following announcement of United States dedicated platform. And it's crazy. I got the Binance over the U.S. thing here. Cointelegraph, of course, with the great artwork. But it looks like major crypto exchange Binance announced today, June 14th, that has updated its terms of use, which notably includes a restriction of services to United States-based individual and corporate traders. It looks like the restriction follows yesterday's news that the company is launching a separate, fully regulated fiat to crypto platform for the U.S. market. In today's announcement, of course, it also says, quote, after 90 days, effective on 9/12/2019, September 12, 2019, users who are not in accordance with Binance terms of use will continue to have access to their wallets and funds, but will no longer be able to trade or deposit on Binance. Of course, that makes no sense for people. If you're not going to be trading, you definitely want to remove your funds off the exchange. And it's crazy. This article even goes into detail, talking about how to get around this. They talk about why the use of a virtual private network could allow U.S. users to circumvent the new restrictions. Withdrawals for non-verified users remain capped at up to 2 Bitcoin per 24 hours, which right now, that's a little bit over $16,000, about $16,900. So that's actually pretty good. So if you don't sign up and you still want to trade, you can use a VPN. And it's not just Binance. You can do that for many exchanges. Use your VPN, that virtual private network, which we talked about on the show plenty of times. And then you can continue to trade. Again, you won't be registered and have your blood test and all that going through Binance. But you'll be able to right now take almost up to 20,000 out. And then once that goes up to, say it goes up to 20,000 again, you might be able to take out 40,000 a day. Now, the only thing I will caution against this is just as quick as they change their terms of service as they did now, and luckily, they're saying, hey, you have up until September to remove everything. If you're a U.S. trader, you have September to take everything off and trade somewhere else. But there's places like Bittrex. This is what we talk about. This is the exact example of something that personally happened to us at Bittrex. We're using the account or whatever, and literally same thing. Hey, you guys can take up to 2 Bitcoin a day. All of a sudden, Bitcoin hits 10, 20,000 or whatever, 15,000, 19,000. And then that turned into literally overnight, Wednesday morning, Tuesday morning or something. It was like, yeah, you're allowed to take out 0.2 Bitcoin a day overnight. So that's the only thing you have to be worried about with these exchanges is that they can change their terms of service. And again, as soon as they do, you could be stuck. Let's give some shout outs real quick. Antonio from the UK. What's going on? Antonio said they got that tap on the shoulder. You know it. I'm about to talk about it. The game I peep. What's going on? What's going on, Richard Terweem? The game I peep. Thank you for the tip. Much appreciated. Sergeant Crypto, Dylan Darchinville, BK Crypto in the building. There we go. S1 Dubs. Alec G, long time no see. What's going on, Alec? Alex said, Trex got me locked out of my account due to mandatory know your customer. Exactly. I mean, it's crazy that overnight, if you have funds in your account, they can automatically just lock you out. Again, you talk about regulations and stuff. That's the regulation they need to be working on, where exchanges can't literally just take your money until you can't come get it. Captain James is going on. Jizzy Mac, Morpheus Mine, Seb R, Dylan. You gotta, hey Dylan, put it, spell it out for me, like sound it out for me. Is it Darchaville? Spell it out for me so I can do it right next time. Thank you. All right, so yeah, going along with this, kind of like Antonio from the UK said, they got the tap on the shoulder. It's clear that's what happened here, but I will give it to CZ and Binance. This was a brilliant move for them on the business end. The reason why is because they're saying, hey, we can continue to fight the United States as we had been on this exchange, knowing that the U.S. gets pissed off, they're going to send people to go get CZ and shut down the entire exchange, right? So instead, he's saying, you know what, let's just boot all our U.S. customers and let's just create another exchange, which for them is very easy at this point. They know how to do it. Create another exchange where we can also compete with the likes of Coinbase and Gemini and Uphold, doing that fiat to crypto transfer, and just make that for U.S. customers. Of course, we know it's going to be regulated, but at least Binance is now saying, you know what, fine. They're basically doing the same thing everybody's doing in New York. Let's just cut New York out the mix. Instead, they're going to say, you know what, we'll allow U.S. customers, it's a lot of money, but we are going to give you the regulated exchange your government is forcing us to have, since you as your citizens won't do anything about it. Yeah, we'll give you this exchange. It's going to be regulated. All your information is going to go to the IRS. It's going to go to the government. It's going to go to the FBI, SEC, all that good stuff. And you all can play around with that. You might only have 8 to 10 coins that are deemed STOs or whatever else your government dictates to you that you're allowed to have. And meanwhile, the rest of the entire planet can continue using my exchange since their governments aren't as radical as yours, United States. So from a business perspective, I get what CZ is doing. It makes perfect sense. And it wouldn't surprise me to see more exchanges begin to do it. It would not surprise me for Coinbase to say, you know what? Yeah, let's just have a United States Coinbase, and then let's just do a rest of the world Coinbase. Same with Gemini. Even though Gemini is in New York, so I think they enjoy being in bed with those regulators. But again, I wouldn't be surprised to see more people do it. It just makes sense. It's unfortunate that we're kind of getting blocked out of this. Again, I can pretty much guarantee you with the new exchange, we won't have as many coins that are on Binance right now. He's doing this to go along regulatory measures, and part of that is the whole STO, ICO, where are you buying, how are you selling it? It's going to be set up specifically to be able to get all your trades, print it all off, and send it to the government in email or via fax, because we know they don't have the technology, and to say we're done with them. So we'll see what happens. Darcheville, there we go, Darcheville. I think I said it right. Chris, what's going on? Chris said not just the U.S., they dropped like 30 countries. Oh, wow, never mind. Crypto does not need Binance. $7,000 Bitcoin wallet hack, LOL. CZ is garbage. Hey, honestly, crypto doesn't need any exchange right now. I mean, the onboarding, but even then, you could do the peer-to-peer, meet up with somebody at a coffee shop. And, as we always say, there's wallets now. You got the BRD wallet on your phone. You got Exodus wallet on your desktop. You got Jack's wallet on your phone. You can do cross-atomic swaps, people. You literally can trade Bitcoin with other cryptocurrency on your wallet yourself without having these exchanges know what you're doing. So you are right about that. At this point, there is no need for an exchange. So we'll see. Antonio said Binance is showing the U.S. up. You're liking it. The citizens in the USA is feeling left out. Definitely, the crypto citizens are feeling left out. So we can see. Any exchange suggestions, people? I use Binance. Again, Uphold is a good one. Not necessarily for trading, but just for on and offboarding. Of course, Gemini is pretty good on and offboarding. As far as the actual exchanges to trade, I will almost start telling people, figure out what coins you want to trade and then go to those exchanges that have the most value. So instead of just now using exchanges for the whole blanket amount of coins, do it for certain exchanges. Your top coins, do it. But we're going to be talking about altcoins later anyway, because it may not even matter anymore. The altcoin war might have been lost, but we'll go over that soon. Next up, Bitcoin is now worth over $8,400. I mean, today I seen it go as high as $8,600 some change, as most top altcoins see losses. And as you can see here, it's like Moses is part of the Red Sea of altcoins, gold, and everything else, and is allowing Bitcoin to walk straight through. But as you can see here, they're showing you Bitcoin is getting 2.84% today. Ethereum is down 1.37% at $257.43. Ripple is kind of teetering, but they're down about 1.119% at 39 cents. And of course, Litecoin is down 4.8% at $128.72. But Bitcoin is continuous push. This is an important benchmark. This 84 to 8,600 was a psychological benchmark. It's a smaller one, but it was very important because now we are on our way possibly to $10,000. I've seen a lot of contradictory technical analysis from a lot of people. We have some groups of people thinking that Bitcoin is officially about to moon, as we did a couple years ago, as we started reaching this same benchmark at around $10,000. And there are others that are thinking, hey, this is a trap and it's not enough volume to support the price, which means it's just a few people that are pumping it. And they think it's going to come not necessarily crashing down, but we're going to go be in for a dip. But regardless, kind of going on with that story, let's talk about Grayscale Investments. Barry Silbert, we talked about him before, but they're saying that Bitcoin gained 47% in the USChina Trade War drawdown. And that's very important because one of the most frequent questions we've been getting recently is the trade war affecting crypto? Is a lot of what's going on in the United States affecting crypto? And of course, we keep saying yes, but there's a lot of naysayers saying that still stick with traditional markets. This has no effect, but the numbers are in, and it looks like during the period of May 5th to May 31st, Bitcoin gained 47%. The next best performing asset was the Japanese yen, gained at 2.1%. I think this is a huge article, and it's very important when you start doing fundamental analysis and even some of your TA when you're looking at charts, because the proof is in the pudding. Everybody's saying, what will happen if we go through another financial crisis? What will happen if 2008 happens again when we have Bitcoin? Of course, no one knows. Some people say that, hey, no money might go into Bitcoin because people are going to pull out everything. People might go into gold. But I think this is a perfect example that money will flow into Bitcoin. If the United States has another economic crisis like we had in the 2008 housing crisis and all that stuff, if we have it again, which we are due for here in the next 6 to 12 months, honestly shorter than that, but we are due for one. If we have another crisis, I think the question has been answered. If we're getting 47% during a US and China trade war talk, or like little, snipes at one another, and it goes up 47%. What's going to happen when the U.S. goes through another, hey, we need to bail out these companies or we might collapse the entire international market? I think the next time we see that, we are going to see people not only flood into Bitcoin, but we're not going to see a 47% gain in a month. I think we'll see something like 470, if not 4,700% gain in a month. And I know that sounds crazy, but imagine if we're going through a national economic crisis, and then, which will, of course, if the U.S. goes to one, it will affect the entire world. So something to pay attention to there, but I think that was the proof in the pudding. It's kind of telling us what we would expect to see. Looks like Dylan said, buy once, use a credit card to buy crypto, and the government definitely knows who you are. Of course, at this point, if you buy crypto on any exchange, honestly, the government is definitely going to know who you are. So something to pay attention to. All right. Wall Street Journal. Facebook crypto project seals $10 million investment each from Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and Uber. You can see here somebody just sitting back reading this crypto news, but it looks like Facebook has sealed this backing from over a dozen firms, including those I just named, for a soon to be an unveiled cryptocurrency project. This was reported to the Wall Street Journal yesterday, June 13th. So this story, of course, we covered it, but the more important thing we're about to cover now is that I believe Facebook is positioning themselves, and it looks like a lot of these companies are positioning themselves with Facebook to turn into the next Federal Reserve. And the timing, people, is crazy when you really think about it. What was happening, June 14th? What was happening around June 14th of 2017? It was the New York Agreement, the infamous agreement we talk about when a lot of the businesses like Coinbase, you got Gemini, you got Vinny Lingram, you had all these big crypto businesses get into one room and say, basically, we're going to try to fork Bitcoin and take it over, right? It didn't end up happening. The whole plan was, squashed. Of course, Jeff Garzik tried to lead that thing. Nothing happened, right? They tried, they failed, and the Bitcoin Cash was birthed after that because Roger Ver said, you know what, you guys couldn't get the job done. I'm just going to go out and do it myself with Craig Wright and get it done. And of course, Jahan joined them as well. But that plan failed in July-ish of 2017. This is it happening again, people. This is the New York Agreement again, except Facebook's leading the charge this time. It's not a bunch of startup crypto companies, no matter how much they made at that time. It is now Facebook, seasoned vet in the startup space, seasoned vet in the tech space. Mark Zuckerberg and his team, billions of dollars online. They're coming in and they're doing it. I think every company, just like the New York Agreement, where they try to get all the crypto businesses, except this time they're getting all the big institutions. They're getting Uber in their pledges. They're getting the paper. Because you remember, the $10 million, money doesn't matter for these companies. Facebook doesn't need a $10 million pledge from over a dozen firms. What's that, $120 million? Really? Look, Mark Zuckerberg could cough $120 million out and do the project himself. These are pledges. That's what this is. This is a public pledge, not only to Facebook and to citizens around the world, but to the governments around the world as well. Visa is saying, hey, yeah, we'll back you. MasterCard, we'll back you. PayPal, we'll back you. So you got the financial institutions. Okay, Uber, we got you. And whatever other 12, dozen ones they didn't name. But these are only pledges. With these pledges, they're basically saying, hey, we do want Facebook to be the number one coin out there. And Facebook even says, once this thing is pushed out, you can see here with their exposure on WhatsApp, Messenger, and Instagram, they're going to be pushing out their coin to 2.7 billion people. That is bigger than the population of China, people. That is like pushing it out to China and India. That's how many clients they have. That's how many customers they have. So their plan is to push out that to push out their Facebook crypto, whatever they're going to call it, to 2.7 billion. They already have the credit card companies backing them. They're getting regular institutions backing them. And the very next play is literally to put this thing into regulation, get it up through government, make it so that if this fails, the taxpayers pay for it. And then last but not least, let's go ahead and back everything via Facebook coin. We don't need to back it with Bitcoin. Let's back it with Facebook coin. Or even better, let's just use Facebook coin. So I truly believe that's the next play. It will be disheartening, but I see it's going to happen. And again, from a business perspective, I don't blame any of these people. I get it. Mark Zuckerberg, do your thing. I mean, this is a capitalistic country here in the United States. But from, of course, the crypto community point of view, this is not good news, specifically for your altcoins, people. This is the story I was talking about. It looks like Dylan said privacy coin is going to be very important. And I saw Franklin Reyes just say, just trade Bitcoin. Exactly. At this point, if Facebook coin launches and it's successful, people, you can go ahead and cancel Christmas on about 85% of your altcoins. It literally won't be a need for everything you can think of they can do. Facebook is literally going to become a mutant with their coin and just take it all and then incorporate it, and they're going to push it out to 2.7 billion people. So that bright ideal project that's still in the works of getting done. Hey, in 2021 we'll have this out. In 2020 we'll finally push this product, or whatever. No, they need to get it out in the next month or two, because once this Facebook coin launches, again, from the crypto community, of course there'll be a pushback, but from the mainstream community, they won't have a choice. That's why the mainstream people are already using Apple Pay, Google Pay. All that stuff came after Bitcoin, people, but they're still using it because they don't know enough about the back end technology. They're just saying, hey, this is the way I can pay on my phone. It's going to be the same thing with Facebook. Once Facebook incorporates this, hey, you can do this on Instagram. You can pay for this. You can use your WhatsApp and get discounts at stores and pay for this. You can use your Messenger and do this. I think it's going to be a done deal for a lot of those altcoins out there. And with that being said, it's even a bigger case at this point to buy Bitcoin. So we'll see. That's pretty funny. Antonio says Zuckerberg is 2-0 versus the Winklevoss twins. It's a potential into Bitcoin moons, of course. S1 Dub said Facebook is about to get that bag. Quote, trade me your central control paper currency for this centralized digital currency. What could possibly go wrong? Exactly. People, it's going to be crazy. I mean, again, when you talk about just your return on investment, let's say you're looking for a 3% return, which is a very low percent, but it's a kind of average for certain industries. But let's say Facebook say, hey, if we can get 3% of 2.7 billion people to use this, how many people is that? That's a huge number of people. I don't even want to do the math off the top of my head, because was it like 30 million and 300 million, something like that. I don't know. Or actually more than that with the 0.7, but you get the gist of it. If you get 3% of 2.7 billion people to buy into the crypto coin, which they will, because it's as simple as doing a good commercial and people just, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now. They have something going. So something to pay attention to, people. This is definitely going to happen. Jason, hilarious. Jason Smith said, as we speak, I cleaned out my Binance account. Listen, we're cleaning out a lot of accounts right now. This thing is getting crazy, and I think it's definitely about to get crazier. So we'll see what happens. Top Networkers Group, what's going on? Top Networkers Group said, you're right. People won't think, they'll just follow. Isn't that the way of life, people? Oh, thank you, Antonio. Antonio said, Bitcoin and Friends episode 2 comes out tomorrow. You know what? Let's give them a shout out. I know they're looking for more sponsors. So if you're in an area with local businesses that do use cryptocurrency and they're being successful, go up to them and ask them if they will, check out this YouTube Crypto and Friends and donate some money, because we definitely want to see them succeed over there. And one more quick comment. Top Networkers Group said, I only use Binance to convert my old Tron, so I got a lot of BTT in there. I cannot move. Fees are too high. It's how it is sometimes. All right, let's see. Next story up. Rhode Island is in the news. Rhode Island solicits proposals for blockchain solutions in government. People, we just said this a few days ago. Whenever I was last on the show, this is what I was, we kind of talked about this. I say I can't wait until the day comes when we're pushing stuff toward the government as far as blockchain stuff and crypto stuff. Like, it's about time for them to adopt technology. It has to happen. It looks like Rhode Island is attempting to do this. Their Department of Administration / Division of Purchase in the United States has issued a public solicitation for blockchain solutions via proof of concept proposals, according to official documentation published on May 31st. Now, here's the only part that I'm not too fond of, but it looks like the department is particularly seeking proposals from, quote, qualified firms that aim to further the state's goal of becoming more efficient, transparent, accurate, secure, and business friendly. The deadline for these submissions is set for June 21st. All right. A couple things in this paragraph. I'm about to break down how government contracts work for you if you don't know already. First of all, the qualified firms thing. What's a qualified firm for blockchain solutions at this point? Because I only know one qualified, I won't say one, but the main qualified, I would say program that's out right now, or software, is the Bitcoin blockchain, because they haven't really had any issues but scaling. And that happens with everything, all new technology. So when you say qualified firms, do you mean like JP Morgan, Quora's blockchain? Are you talking about whoever, Visas, or it was Visas or MasterCard's blockchain department and trading desk? Like, who's the qualified firm? Because again, not only is this only 10 years old, most institutions have only been up on crypto the last 2 years, tops. So again, this is one of those things where Rhode Island is saying, well, again, we don't want mom and pops and retailers. We want these institutions to keep on keeping strong as they have been. So again, that qualified firm thing, that threw me off. And the second thing is the deadline for submission is June 21st, next week. So you want a real life blockchain solution, a real life proposal for proof of concept, going whether you want to do, you can see here a plethora of areas include licensing, anti-fraud contracts, medical marijuana, crowdsourcing, all this stuff. You want you want these submissions in a week, right? People, they already have lined up who's going to submit. This is how military government contracts work as well. They will literally put something out there, $10 million contract, $1,000 contract, doesn't matter. All you need to do is go to the moon and back again. Oh, and by the way, you need to have that done by tonight at 8 p.m. That's literally how government contracts work in the military. They will give you a day or two to do the impossible because they already have who they want to do it lined up. However, because of laws and regulations, they have to still put it on there publicly and give people a, quote, ample amount of time type of deal. This is the same thing Rhode Island's doing. They gave you a week to basically develop a proof of concept proposal for something like licensing. People, that is a 2 to 3 month due diligence project on itself, just to research for that. So unless the proof of concept is going to be a one page or a paragraph type of deal, where it's basically working as an ICO, like, hey, I don't have a product yet or a plan or a team, but I hope to be able to do this one day. I don't see what they mean. But again, I know better. It's unfortunate that they're doing this, but the fact that they give you a week and they say qualified firms, what they're basically saying is, unless you are like Bank of America, we haven't talked to you yet by mistake, and you can give us a call. If you're not one of those guys, there's no need to submit anything. We already have our team. So shout out to Rhode Island and government in general, starting to adopt more crypto stuff, blockchain stuff, and looking toward it. But again, it's unfortunate to see how they're doing it, because again, it's the same old same. All right, it's literally the same old same, people. And the worst part about all this, the whole same old same, and the reason why this is an issue, again, we don't say this to be negative. is realistic. This is a problem because if they continue to use these big firms and continue to keep things centralized, we will continue to see things like the Equifax hack, where 150 million Americans' social security number are now somewhere on the dark web, right? We're going to continue to see this type of stuff if the government continues to use these type of firms, they're qualified firms that they qualify, instead of actually using open source stuff, decentralized things, and just opening it up to say, how about this? Whoever can give us a good proposal, submit it. We'll read over. We don't care if we get 1 million of them, because you, the public citizens of America, or excuse me, what should be private citizens of America, you pay us, Rhode Island, the government, to do this. So it shouldn't be qualified firms. It should be anyone with a great blockchain solution, proof of concept. Please submit. So hopefully we see more of that in the future and less of the qualified firms thing. So we'll see. All right, last but certainly not least, the United States state of Nevada passes flurry of blockchain bills. That is right. Again, we just talked about this last week, how this is what's going to be on the horizon. We saw 2018, so far in 2019 has been all regulations. I think 2020, after that Bitcoin halves and the price just goes absolutely bonkers, it will literally be no choice but for every government to adopt it. And not just because of the price and for them to integrate crypto or blockchain solutions. No, it's going to be because after this, after the price of Bitcoin goes past 20,000 again, and you get a bunch of crypto millionaires, this time I think we're going to see a smarter bunch of crypto millionaires. There won't just be Lambo. It's going to be, no, I'm a multimillionaire and I'm telling you as the government, you're going to do it like this, or we're going to have somebody else take your place next year, or we might even just get you out of office right now because we now have the money and resources to do it. Oh, and guess what? If you're like Bitcoin Zay, I'm going to wear a hoodie and do it all at the same time, right? So I think once that price surpasses the 20K mark again, people get a lot more money in their pocket. They're kind of recouping from the big losses they already took. I see more government, whether it's Rhode Island, whether it's Nevada, California, they're going to have to adopt it because there'll be so many wealthy people from crypto and blockchain tech. So, but with all that being said, it looks like, again, Nevada, they're passed a regulatory sandbox legislation aimed at continuing blockchain investment and entrepreneurism in the state. It looks like Governor Steve Sisolak signed the blockchain bills on June 7th and 13th. They're partial to a number of bills passed in the state that support this, the continued growth of financial technology and blockchain. I'm glad they put that they are partial because a lot of people don't understand whenever there's a bill getting past people and you have, whether it's a blockchain bill or whatever, they usually load it with stuff, right? So these are just a partial on it. We don't know the real bill. The bill could have been something like, hey, let's actually raise taxes in the state of Nevada for 5%, by 5%. That could have been like tucked somewhere. And then they could say, oh yeah, but you can also create this sandbox for Bitcoin and blockchain. And people are like, okay, let's vote for it, not knowing the tax bump. So it's important to read the entire bill. Again, I'm just using that as an example, but some of the things that were passed as of recent was SB 161. It creates a regulatory sandbox for emerging technologies companies through a program in the Department of Business and Industry. SB 162 creates a definition for public blockchain within Nevada revised statutes and requires government agencies to accept electronically certified documents, including those on a blockchain. So that is very important. I mean, that's awesome to see that. SB 163 authorizes businesses to store and maintain corporate records on a blockchain. And SB 164 defines virtual currencies as intangible personal property and therefore exempts them from personal property taxation. Wow. Shout out to that last one, Nevada. All right, I'm with you. So good stuff. However, a couple things, not trying to be negative Nancy. Again, we just like to be realistic on this show, people. But a couple of things to keep in mind when looking at some of these bills that are getting passed. First and foremost, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. They were talking about blockchain technologies was going to be important, not necessarily Bitcoin. And I asked them, I said, which blockchain? And they literally gave me a blank face. It was like, oh, I don't even know. I was like, exactly. There's your Quorum blockchain, again, by JP Morgan. There's the EOS blockchain. There's the Bitcoin blockchain. There's so many blockchains, right? Blockchains are databases, people. It's just a new word for a database. Your blockchain does not matter if it's not decentralized, and not decentralized amongst 10 people in a company, decentralized how Bitcoin is across the entire planet through millions of nodes. So my only thing when it says, government agencies must accept electronically certified documents, including those on the blockchain. Well, again, are you talking about on a true public decentralized blockchain, or are you talking about a private blockchain? And if that's the case, then, does it really matter, right? And the second thing, of course, is kind of the overall broad arching thing we keep talking about. While this is good news, we want to stay away from government and regulations in this space, people. I am telling you, because as happy as you are about these, stay in Nevada, if you're in the blockchain, oh, these are amazing bills, all this good stuff. All right, what happens if this government, what happens once this governor leaves and they get a new one? And maybe he's getting money from which banker, who knows? And whatever reason, he's like, we don't want this blockchain tech. Let's reverse it. Oh, you guys were happy and you went along with these bills that we passed to help you. Now you better be just as happy and go along with these bills that we passed that are going to harm the industry as well, which we see happening in other states. So it's one of those things where you don't need to be told, you don't need to be told that you can store records on the blockchain. Just store them. You don't need to be told that Bitcoin is personal property. Your money is your personal property. Just keep it. Don't give it away for tax. It's literally that simple, people, when it comes to all this government stuff. So same thing I said with Rhode Island, same thing with New York. It's the fact that you're giving in to some of the regulations. You're not understanding that government plays a long game, and they're saying, you know what? We'll give you what you want the next 5 or 10 years. Because in the next 30 to 40 to 60 years, we're going to slowly take that away and tax you even more on what you're doing now. Slowly and steadily to the point you don't even see it happening. Like right now, like we get taxed in America today. If I remember correctly, the reason why Americans first revolted against the British, the original terrorists of the country, was because we didn't want to pay taxes. And now, if you're in California like me, you're paying up to like 35% or something crazy for taxes. That's literally 35 cents on the dollar, people, of money you make. So just make sure you pay attention to that. That is always why I'm like, when it comes to crypto and government, you kind of have to be leery on that. All right, going to some comments real quick. We're seeing some good stuff come in. Let's see. Morpheus Mind was going on and said, I was thinking about getting a Ledger Nano X. I've heard nothing but good things from Ledgers. I know Bitcoin Zay uses them as well. So, of course, that's a good wallet. Monty Henry was going on and said, love the show. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Monty. We appreciate it. Morpheus Mind said, you're right. I can't tell you why, but government has to put out public contracts, but most of the time they already know who they want. Oh, of course. Look, anybody who's in the government contract game, military government, knows the game. Again, I was taught this game. I didn't know it to begin with. People, this old guy who did government contracts and military contracts. He showed me the business and how it works. And he basically, it's basically a phone call, handshake, and then, hey, we got to put this up there for 48 hours. Don't worry, unless something really crazy comes in, you got the job. That's literally the way it works. And again, for it to be a public contract, and for going back to that Rhode Island story, for it to be a public contract or proof of concept, and you only say qualified firms, how can you? That privatizes it right there. We're a public government, but we're only certain citizens and only certain organizations are allowed to submit to us for an ideal for the entire state. That is crazy. Listen, tar and feather, people. Tar and feather, tar and feather, tar and feather, tar and feather. I heard it work back in the day. All I'm saying is give it a shot, all right? And again, if you do it, let me know first so we can get this bail money together. S1 Dub said, anything can be made into a cottage industry, including blockchain. Consultants are getting paid just talking about enterprise blockchain value propositions when they can't name one use case for it. You know what? You are right. I am seeing blockchain and Bitcoin consultants pop up every day, and it's like, okay, what have you done in this space? How long have you been in this space? It's like, oh, nothing. 6 months. It's like, all right, hey, I get it. It's business. Somebody is literally paying you $1,000 for you to tell them how blockchain enterprise for your business can do X, Y, and Z, even though they're not telling you, hey, if only you and the COO control the keys or control all the information to the blockchain, it's only on your computers, then it's centralized and it can be hacked, and your blockchain is nothing more than a elaborate database. So it just makes no sense. Shannon Allen said they just use it as a buzzword and trying to marginalize Bitcoin. Of course they do. That's the same thing I told the guy the other day. Trek was going on PFC Wells. S1 Dubs, you're all right? S1 Dubs is from Toronto, or in Toronto. So he said, I forgot to mention the Raptors are the world champs. As much as we in California wanted the Warriors to win, I am happy for Kawhi Leonard. You're talking about somebody who deserves a championship. It is him. And wow, this dude is like, I mean, hey, he is the G in Canada now. I mean, he's the man in Canada, I think, for now and for forever, for the rest of his life. So that's good for him. Let's see, White Lake said, geez, you need to make a move for taxes. I know, right? It's crazy. Go up to Nevada. Oh, yeah. Oh, California taxes, man. For those who don't know, if you're not in California or not in the in this country, yeah, I mean, it's literally like legal extortion. It makes no sense. I used to live in San Diego, too. They used to charge like a tourism fee to live there. It was crazy. I was like, wait, what? I live here. So there's a lot of stuff going on with the government. I mean, it's just a way to get your money. Tonio said, Ledger is good. I stick with the S if you want to hold large amounts, though. X has Bluetooth, which isn't as secure as well, for sure. What's going on, Pangy Smoke? All right, that is the show for today. For the free cryptic coin today. Yeah, let's do your own proposal. Looks like Rhode Island is only accepting proposals from their firms that they qualify, and you only have a week to do it. But let's say you want to do a proposal for your state because it's a public government and anybody should be able to submit. What would you submit as a proof of concept proposal? Just a couple of sentences. What would you like to see in government? One thing I've talked about that I would like to see is the money and the voting. I want to see, I want to be able to see every penny or every Satoshi. We're talking Bitcoin. I want to see every Satoshi and where it goes from the moment you get 35 to 40% of my taxes all the way to wherever it goes. If it's $500 billion for a defense budget, I want to see every penny. If it's going to government, politicians, regulations, streets, I want to see everything. So that would be my proof of concept, to try to kind of figure out a way to develop something for that. So for the free cryptic coin today, a couple of sentences after the video in the comment section, write what your proof of concept would be. And then, of course, put your cryptic coin address, and we will make sure to send that to you next week. Other than that, thanks for watching, people. Have a happy Friday. Have a great weekend. And pay attention to that price, because if it does hit that 10K mark in the next, whether it's next couple of days or next week, remember in 2017 when it hit 10K, it literally took about 10 days, 12 days to hit 20K. So you won't have a lot of time to make moves. Make sure you're already set up. And of course, also have those sell orders on just in case we do get a crazy pump and a big dip. Other than that, people, have a great day, and we will see you all next week. Cheers.